Have you ever looked at someone in power, someone clearly selfish, manipulative, or even cruel, and wondered, why do people still follow them? Not just follow, admire, defend, worship. What if I told you it's not a mistake? What if the truth is far more unsettling? Because the people we fear, the people we criticize in public, are often the ones we serve in silence. And somewhere deep in our psyche, want it that way. You're not immune. Neither am I. There's a part of you, buried beneath all the surface logic and good intentions, that craves submission, not to goodness, but to dominance. It's the same part that slows down to look at car crashes, that rubbernecks at tragedy, that secretly admires the man who takes what he wants, consequences be damned. It's not rational, it's not noble, but it's deeply, painfully human. In 1943, Dietrich Bonhoeffer, German theologian and staunch anti-Nazi, was imprisoned by the regime he dared to resist. In the quiet hell of his prison cell, he wrote something haunting. Stupidity is a more dangerous enemy of the good than malice. But Bonhoeffer didn't mean people were simply dumb. He meant that once someone surrenders their critical thinking once, they allow an ideology, a figure, or a system to think for them, they become dangerous. Not because they're evil, but because they're empty. And emptiness is easy to fill. Psychologists call it the authoritarian personality, cognitive structure built not on logic, but on fear, on survival. We gravitate toward dominance when we feel small, toward certainty when the world feels chaotic. And leaders, especially the corrupt, the narcissistic, the charismatic, know this: they don't win through truth. They win through emotional engineering. They tell you who to blame. They tell you what to fear. And then, like messiahs in suits, they offer themselves as the cure. Here's the twist. The corrupt leaders we despise, they're not anomalies. They're reflections of us, of our desires, of our fears. We get the leaders we tolerate. We get the culture we reward. We get the lies we're willing to believe because the truth would hurt too much. We worship destruction, dressed in charisma, because it whispers to something ancient inside us. Machiavelli, centuries ago, peeled back the polite layers of politics and told us bluntly, it is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. But here's what most people miss. Machiavelli wasn't endorsing cruelty. He was diagnosing a world that already rewards it. A world where sincerity is punished, where compassion is weakness, where manipulation is called strategy. We don't just tolerate this, we train ourselves to admire it. And then we act surprised when the worst among us rise to the top. Think of the influencers we elevate. Think of the billionaires we idolize. Think of the celebrities we defend long after the masks fall off. Modern culture is not built on virtue. Teens built on spectacle. And we are the spectators, clapping as Rome burns. Not because we're evil, but because we're starved for meaning, for certainty, for identity. And in our hunger, we accept poison served as feast. We love to mock the stupid ones, the misinformed, the brainwashed. But here's a painful truth. You are blind too. We all are. Cognitive biases shield us from discomfort. We overestimate our intelligence, our morality, our independence. The Dunning-Kruger effect isn't about other people being deluded. It's about you, me, everyone overconfident in what we think we understand. Even this video, you'll nod along, feel smart, feel above it, but ask yourself, what lies am I still believing? Every great civilization falls, not from invasion, but from within, when integrity is mocked and lies are currency. When the loudest voice replaces the wisest one, when spectacle becomes governance and image replaces truth, history doesn't repeat, it rhymes. And the rhyme we're living sounds a lot like collapse, but not the collapse of buildings, the collapse of meaning. You say you want honesty, but would you really choose the leader who tells you the truth when that truth hurts? You say you value freedom, but would you really defend it if it meant discomfort, risk, or sacrifice? Because many don't. They want the illusion of freedom, the comfort of being told what to think, the dopamine hit of outrage and tribalism, not the burden of responsibility. So, before you point at the corrupt, ask yourself, what in me wanted them there? In the end, the most dangerous tyrants don't come with armies. They come with applause. They rise on the shoulders of the people they'll later betray, not because they're cunning, but because we're willing to trade the complexity of truth for the comfort of lies, willing to be ruled so we don't have to rule ourselves. So the question is no longer, why do we worship the corrupt? It's, what part of us still craves the corruption? And if we don't face that part, we'll keep building the very empires that crush us, brick by brick, vote by vote, lie by lie, all while wondering why the world keeps burning.